You know, the food and stuff, the lunch hall is really good. Transport's been good. You know, there's nothing really to complain about so far. And you know, I was saying the other day that it sort of feels like there's a few people that, you know, want to kind of bash the event before it's kind of started and got going. And you know, I just think they have to let that go. You know, and kind of, you know, wait for the event to finish before, you know, we give, you know, a fair, you know, view on what this event is now. And it has changed, and it's a big change, but I think they need to let it go.
Leon, are you going to keep your cards close on selection, or can you tell us anything about the team tomorrow?
I'm afraid we're going to keep it to us this now. We've got a pretty good idea, but we've kept it as normal. I'm going to speak to the guys tonight so they can sleep on it, and then we go. So sorry, I can't give you that now.
Next question. Mike. Andy, when you say that, you know, some people have seemed very keen to knock the event, I mean, can you say who you have in mind? Do you mean other players or ATP or media or commentators? Or?
I just think okay, I'm not saying everyone has. It's just generally people have been quite sceptical about the new format, which is fine. You know, because like I said, it is a big change, and you know, I have my reservations about it. But I just feel like it's fair to give the opportunity a chance. The new event a chance to play itself out and see how it is at the end of the week. And I would just say, well, from my perspective, I don't know what all of the other players have been saying or feel about it that have been here, but I think it's been very well run so far. It's been very easy for all of the players. You know, and the one concern I had and have is the atmosphere in the matches in comparison to what we were used to in Davis Cup ties. And until we've actually competed in a few matches here and felt that atmosphere and stuff, I can't say for sure what that's going to be like. But you know, the week so far has been good and enjoyable, and I think there's some great matches yesterday as well, and some nice atmospheres too. And yeah, it's not one player or one person in the media or pundit or whatever. It's just, I think generally, you know, people have been fairly negative about the new concept, and I just feel in tennis sometimes we're quite reluctant to make changes, and this is a big change, and I feel like we should just give it an opportunity to see how it goes.
This is a question to anybody who would want to answer it. You guys have the possibility, if you make it all the way till the end, to play 5 ties in 5 days. So how are you preparing for that, and how challenging do you think this is going to be?
Yeah, I'll give that to Kyle.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, we don't get the day off, but hopefully we can get into a nice rhythm and play each day, and we know what we're expecting. Of course, you have to win the matches in order to play all the way through the event, but we've just got to do our best, believe. You know, fear will be our enemy, but that's it really. We just got to do the best we can.
Just related question to that, to Andy. If selected, are you ready and available to play 5 matches back to back, or would you prefer to have your time sort of take rest days if required?
Look, I mean, it's playing 5 days in a row is for me tough just now. I did it in Antwerp, you know, and I got through that tournament quite well at the end, but it was, you know, it was tough, and I've also since then had a bit of a break as well, where, you know, didn't train and practice as much. So, you know, 5 matches in 5 days would be difficult for sure. But I think that's, you know, one of the nice things about this event, and especially the team that we've got just now, is that, you know, everyone, you know, everybody can play and step in, and, you know, are top quality players. So I think that's really positive. And one of the other things that well, this is just a positive about the competition as a whole, is the fact that there's not any dead rubbers, especially these first few days. For me, that was one of the issues with the previous format. But the fact that kind of every rubber counts here and each set and stuff, there's a little bit more riding on it than, you know, maybe there was in the past, like on the Sundays and stuff. Sometimes you had, you know, 2 matches didn't mean anything. So I think that's one of the positives about the new format.
This is to Kyle and Dan. Either of you could be the number one. How do you feel about playing in the number one role with Andy potentially as number 2?
Yeah, it will be a proud moment. Whoever goes out there and plays number 1. You know, obviously Andy's very good number 2 to have playing before us, and you know, both had a good week's practice. You know, can't hold it back anymore and get going on the match court.
Andy, can I just ask how you're feeling physically in terms of the right elbow, and also, I think when you were telling us about your weight gain after the baby, a lot of people found that quite relatable. But did it fall off quite quickly? Or how did that go?
Yeah, I've lost a little bit of weight. You know, not as much as you know I would like, but obviously you know, getting to practice here and, you know, hopefully getting to play a few matches can also help with the last couple of kilos. But yeah, I mean, physically my elbow's been really good, so that's been positive. And then yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, if you're playing matches, there's obviously a bit of added intensity there. So how you recover from them and feel, you know, after them is slightly different to the practice. But the elbow's been good.
Last couple of questions, Stuart.
Liam, do you think it helps or hinders you that Andy cannot be the number 1 singles player here?
No, it's not the way I would view it. I think it's, as Andy said, we've got really good quality in the 3 singles players that we've got, and whoever goes out to play gives us a good shot. You know, obviously it was a difficult decision coming here as well, because we have players that are good quality players that didn't even make the squad. So I don't view it that way at all. I think the way the format of the competition means that it's could be an advantage in other ways as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, does it help or hinder? Like, in which way would you feel that it would help? In terms of opposition, I guess.
Yeah, it depends, and depends on how everyone's playing, and depends on the other teams. Depends on the matchups. You know, sometimes, in some ways, you'd want to flip it around depending on the matches that you're up against. But yeah, so if anything, yeah, it could be a positive.
I think we've got Mike and Ellen, or anything for Jamie and Neil.
Let's bring Jamie and Neil in.
Well, just to say, you know, it's 1 point in 3 now, not 1 point in 5. Do you see that as a boost for doubles?
I mean, potentially. I mean, obviously, in the group stages, every rubber counts. But obviously, in the knockouts, if it's 2-0 after singles and the doubles, doesn't get played. But if it's live, then it's going to be the match that decides the ties. So I guess it worked both ways. Obviously, the previous format always counted and was always a pivotal rubber in the tie. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, for us, it's cool to get the opportunity to potentially, you know, play those deciding matches, and, you know, doubles be the discipline that's deciding whether, you know, who goes home with the Davis Cup trophy or not. Yeah.
Yeah, just to Andy, you were talking about, you know, how difficult it's going to be to sort of play back to back. So, I mean, would you be available for doubles if called upon, or would you rather stick to singles?
Yeah. Look, I mean, if I was asked to play, then yeah, I would do it. You know, it's not. There's also certain circumstances that are, I don't know. The difference between playing the final maybe, or, you know, a quarter-final potentially is a difference, because I don't know, you have to think, you know, maybe at the beginning of the event slightly differently than if you're kind of in a final as well. You know, but I guess we'll see what happens when we're out there. Length of matches as well is important too. You know, you play an hour-long match is very different to playing 3 hours. You know, and how you recover from that. So there's a lot of factors there. But I mean, if that's what Leon wanted ultimately, then I'll do it.
Who would like to put the last question to the new man on the team?
No, why not?
Yeah, thanks.
Neal, I guess, how does it feel for you to be part of this team, and especially that it's a new format, but for you, I guess this is the first thing you're experiencing, so what's your impression?
Yeah, it's going really well. We've been here almost a week now. There's a great atmosphere in the camp. But yeah, I mean, it's a really exciting time for me and the players. I mean, we've had a good practice at the NTC last week, 6 days here. It's going really well. We're looking forward to it. Obviously, what Liam was saying, we don't know the team yet. But if we do get called upon, we just have to be the